Yay! Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's Picker's Church today. It's me and Chadwick here. If you don't know, that's Chad, the Golden Finger Picker. And this is me, Ronnie, Hearts Pickers. And we're just here, a little pre-gaming it before the big game. And just chilling out.
I don't know how many people's going to watch the game, but, you know, I have my money on Denver. Literally, I have a bet with Pete, the Craigslist Hunter, and it's going to feel good to collect that money from Pete. I'm telling you, it's one of those satisfactions. And, you know, I'm results oriented. So whenever I'm accepting that payment, it's just going to feel so good. And
I hope he pays you in pennies. I hope he sends it to you in pennies.
See, like at least you're like smart enough to realize that he is going to pay me, whether it be pennies or whatever. But yes, you're correct. I don't care what form.
Anything is possible. I mean, I didn't think they were going to get by New England, Denver. But then again, I didn't know if Carolina would beat. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched football this much this year, you know. My team got knocked out early, and I gave up on football after that.
Well, let's see. Raise a hand in the comments. Are you ready for the Super Bowl? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl tonight? If not, don't give us a literal thumbs down on the video, but like Coco did there in the chat, you can, you know, there's one of those. But what are we going to talk about today, Ronnie?
Talk about kind of basically why we started what we do here on Facebook, YouTube, and so on and so forth, and kind of what we plan to get out of it or what we want out of it.
Right on. And yes, guys, we will be done before the game starts. Trust me.
Yeah, we're not going to go. What time does the game start? 7?
Yeah, something like that. But I know we're going to be watching it. Levi made my run to the gas station to pick up my things I will be partaking in tonight. So it will be exciting. And yes, it can be bought at a gas station, or it's beer, dang it.
Beer.
Not the guy standing outside the gas station. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So Ronnie, why did you start your YouTube channel?
When I started watching a few different people, and I've talked kind of like my story, and I always kind of forget about I should write it down, but you know, because you forget like one piece or this piece or that piece. You know, I was curious about what was going on. I remember I got into it because my wife was like her wife and her uncle, we were in the Dominican Republic, and we were watching storage auctions. And for whatever reason, I came across YouTube, and I'm like, hey, let's look on there. And that guy, Glendon Cameron, came up, and I watched a few videos. And I was down the Dominican Republic for that time for 2 months in the middle of our winter. So it was really nice and toasty and warm down there. So I started watching some other videos, and I came across like, what's his name? Redneck Picker and Bret Ott and Jordan B, and there was a Soul Food SF. He sells like vintage clothing and hats. And I started to, you know, just watch their videos. I didn't really act on anything for several months. You know, it wasn't like I was just watching the videos, you know, and it all of a sudden it dawned on me. It's like, you sell all these other things on eBay, your own personal items. Why are you not selling, you know, why are you not going to these stores and looking around and doing certain things? And then I just started to make videos as kind of like a thing to like a diary thing almost, that I could look back and see where I started and just go from there. I mean, and surprisingly, in another month or two, it's going to be 4 years.
Wow. Yeah. With us, you know, it's hard to remember, but I remember Kim was so against it. She, not so much against it. She was like, I don't want nothing to do with it. We had absolutely zero expectations. But we've done it for so long, and we kind of like, well, if we're going to do it, I mean, I think it's important to, before we started, we sat down and said, no matter what, no matter what, we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to give a perception we're one way and then really are another way. And then actually, and that's one of our founding things that we've done is we've stayed true to ourselves. And I think it's really important, and because trust me, all there are smart cookies. You can see through the, if somebody's putting on a show, or they're not being true. And you guys do this reselling stuff for a living, and it does take a half a brain to do. So I think it is important to stay true. And some people do it just strictly out of the entertainment, and if it makes for good TV, they're going to do it, whether it's real or fake or whatever. But we've wanted to take the route of, look, this is who we are. This is exactly how we are in person. I mean, yeah, in person. So if you see us on video, then you're going to get the same people if you met us in person. And I think being true and being real and being honest will get you self business reselling. And were you looking for a reward, Ronnie, when you started?
Dude, when I started the channels, seriously, I mean, nobody really had that many subscribers. We were not getting, I mean, I was watching other people's videos. Maybe they were getting 500 views on a video. Maybe they had a few hundred subscribers. It was really nothing to, where it is now. Nothing. And I never assumed it was going to go this big. I remember Autumn Upscale Retail. She had a Facebook group, and it's where I met Rudy and Square, and other like Rakin and stuff like that. And there was literally like 50, 60 people in that group. There wasn't a huge number of people in that group. And it was kind of like, more people sharing ideas of how to sell things or how they sell things. And sometimes smaller groups are better when they're that small. It kind of, the more people you get in groups, it kind of gets a little crazy, and you tend to get, people that are just there to cause issues and so on and so forth. But it's like everywhere,
Yeah. HB Picker just said, you can be real, but sometimes people just don't like the real you. And you're absolutely correct. I mean, statistics state 1 out of 10 people will not like you, regardless of what you do. You could be people just won't like you no matter what you do, no matter how nice you are or how mean you are. It's just not in the stars that this person is going to like you. That is just how it is. And if you're going to come out and do this, you're going to have to accept that, everybody you come across just is not going to like you. They're not going to like your personality. They're not going to like the sound of your voice. Okay. They're not going to like, the euphemisms that you use. I use right on a lot. And some people, it just goes right through them. And it's like, this guy is an ass. It's like he says it too much. Or, I mean, it's just, there are certain things about people when you come across, they're just not going to like you for whatever reason. But you can't worry about it.
You say that, and it's true, because there's certain people I cannot watch because I can't stand them. I can't stand the way they talk, walk, dress, look, the way they explain shit. It drives me freaking crazy, and I can't do it. And I don't even subscribe to them. I don't worry about them, and I think that's part of the thing. There's a lot of people in this community that are always constantly worried about what everybody else is doing, instead of just, you know what, I don't got time for that. I mean, there's certain people, they wake up in the morning, and instead of watching people's videos they can learn from, they go and watch people that they dislike to know what they're up to and to gossip on it. And it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? You know, if people are gonna follow them, it's up to them. I mean, some of them are fake, some of them are real people, and but that's why there's so many of us. You know, you might like me, or you might like Chad, or you may like Rakin or Dallas or whoever, and you might not like somebody else, and that's fine. You know, but don't be hateful. Don't give out the dislikes because you don't like that person. Just don't follow that person and just go about your way.
Yeah, and when you get something like this community, which we need to look at this at an overall big picture, the YouTube community when it comes to resellers. It is such a small piece of the pie when it comes to the overall picture. We are such a small niche in this huge social media world. But within this niche, or with any community, you're going to have drama. And it's really important that people who put themselves out there, like Ronnie and myself, you may see us kind of go on a rant sometimes, or something like that, because we do have a platform and we say what's on our mind. But I also think that we should be held at a standard that, if we have somebody brand new coming to watch our channel, we shouldn't be, tearing down another man's house to make our house bigger. Okay. I think if you know Ronnie and I, that we choose not to engage in a lot of the stuff that you see that goes on out there. That doesn't mean that we're not affected by it, but I really don't think there's any need to bring it to you guys. I really, really don't. And I think it just shows character. And for the ones that you see that do it, I think it shows character. It comes to the point to where you want to try to rise above. And that's not saying be better, than you're any better than anybody else. It's just, man, you pick your battles. And if it's an important battle to me, then absolutely, I'll put my 2 cents in. Let's see here. Yeah. And you do have to, you got to be able to brush stuff off. I mean, there's some people out there. I mean, I've gotten 80 dislikes within 5 minutes on one video. And, for a minute it bothers you, but there's some people that would go literally bust out in tears, go get in bed for 2 weeks, not get out of bed, that their life is over. It's like, then whoever did that won. Okay. You need to pick yourself up. If you ever consider coming to YouTube and starting it, we highly encourage it. Do we not, Ronnie?
Everybody should do it. I mean, it's fun, and see if it's for you. That's another thing. A lot of people think biggest misconception is that to a lot of people is they make so much money making YouTube videos, and I don't know how many people, or they just don't see why you make them, or this or that, or another thing, or how do you get followers? Like, I had a conversation with someone the other day. They just started making videos, and they were talking about, like, how do you get followed? And I don't know. I've done it for 4 years, and it just happens,
Yeah. And that's another thing that I think might be a little bit of a misconception, with Facebook groups, and we might as well bring this up, Ronnie, because, Ronnie and I, we're part of, there's society, and we encourage people to, not today.
No, you're good.
We encourage people to post their videos, their haul videos, their sales update videos, any videos that really come to, reselling. And, but what we don't like, okay, Ronnie and I, we've been doing this for a few years, on YouTube, and we didn't ride on anybody's coattails to get where we're at. Okay. As far we worked, we put out content, and we done our best. And, as far as reward, when I asked Ronnie, were you expecting any reward out there? It's the reward is tenfold, really. It really is. There's a lot of different aspects to being rewarded for doing what we do. There's your AdSense, which we don't get into how much we're making, but that is definitely a reward. Was it intent was that the intent when we started our YouTube channel that we were looking to make money for being on YouTube? Absolutely not. And I know Ronnie's the same way, and it's still, you know, it is what it is. But you know, as far as, and people will try to capitalize on your hard work, whether it be building a huge Facebook group, which took work. We come on YouTube, we say, hey, we have a channel. I mean, you build it yourself. And then you've got people that want to come in these Facebook groups and put their group or page or whatever, or their paid product or something like that in front of 16,000 people's eyes. And we understand that. But it's the whole idea of, man, don't ride coattails of others. You know, get out there, do the work yourself, build your own brand and build your own. And then you, if you have something to put out, then by God, put it out. But it's on you, not on the people who you're riding their coattails. We got a question here from Professor eBay, Ronnie. Why don't you take that? It's posted.
Oh, okay. Whoops, I just opened a different tab. Close that. I've already clicked too many buttons that don't do something today. Do you think you guys get more sales on eBay from people watching you on YouTube? I really don't think so. I don't think the people watching my channel are going and buying stuff from my eBay store for the most part.
Well, you know, after the fact, I find out sometimes, you know, that it was a viewer that bought it, because after the fact they end up saying it. It's like, well, you could have said it like, you know, when you made the purchase or something, maybe I'd have given you a better deal. But yeah, I mean, it has happened, but we don't do it for that reason. It's just another one of those perks, I guess, of doing it. But of course you have the negative side. You know, you've got I think I've got 1,000 people following my YouTube store, which why? I mean, I know why, but it's not actually, you know, I mean, my eBay store, it's not eBay people, you know, wanting to come back and look at my store to buy from me. It's a bunch of people that found out what it is on YouTube, and they just want to keep an eye on the stuff I'm selling, and that's okay. But buy something every now and then, at least, if you're going to be there. But, yeah. And people have messed with me through my eBay. So it's a two-edged sword. It really is when it comes to putting yourself out there in social media. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the unfortunate part of this is, you know, you will get an argument or a feud with somebody, or, you know, and, you know, the possibility is always there that someone may attack your Amazon store or your eBay store. You know, when they try to mess with your livelihood. And that's probably the biggest gripe I have with, you know, certain things. I mean, you want to call somebody, you know, stupid, or, oh, that guy, you know, I can care less. I've been called worse in my own house. You know, it's like, whatever. I mean, so what? But, you know, I don't get too upset when somebody says something about me. I mean, most of the issues, I mean, before the Resale Society, I almost had no issues with anybody. Since that group, I've had a few issues with a few different people, and it's more so they get kicked out of the group by somebody else, and I take, you know, I'm not gonna say who it was, you know, like, oh, that person single out who kicked them out, because we got, you know, 10, 12, 15 admin or whatever. I go after them, sticking up for whoever and sticking up for the group. Like, you did wrong. That's what happened. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to make a video about it. They want to do this. They want to do that. It's like, come on, really? You know, I've had a few. I mean, I was on the phone with somebody talking to them. You know, there was a big misunderstanding. And, you know, on other people, it's just like, I didn't like you to begin with, so keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. We have to be, okay, this is almost, it's like, okay, how can Ronnie and I make this educational for folks, you know, talking about, you know, what we're talking about? we don't want to sound like two old gripey men or making this a rant video. And we're not going after any people, and that's not what it's about. But I think it is really important to educate yourself in the area that you're in. You always hear me say, be aware of your surroundings. Okay. If you're this is probably a, here's a good, you're looking to buy a new car and you're driving down the road, just because that used car dealership on the left side of the road with all the big bright shiny lights and the big arrows pointing here saying, come buy from us, we're the best. And it looks pretty, and then you got the one across the street that is pretty much a basic car lot looking. Chances are, you just because it's got the big bright flashy lights and it sounds awesome doesn't make that the better place to buy your car. I'm sorry. You just need to really educate yourself, and we've said this 1,000 times. If something sounds too good to be true, there's a good chance it is. And a lot of people, I guess it's a matter of you have learned from their mistakes. They really have. And you need to ask yourself, not necessarily, when we say ask the questions, not necessarily ask the person buying into a product. Absolutely ask the questions, ask the hard questions. If somebody's telling you that their main goal is to make you $1 million next year, ask them how long it took them to make their $1 million. Chances are they probably haven't made that $1 million yet. It's just a sales pitch. And once you are able to see through the smoke and mirrors, you really are able to wade through the BS. And I think that's really, really important, because, and you also have to look at, what's this person's agenda? What's, is it a hook line? Is somebody just fishing for your eyeballs, to come look at them? Or is there some say that selling you something is bad? It's just that, if you're wanting to sell me something, then just say you're wanting to sell me something. Don't try to trick me into going in your direction, and then later on, try to drop something on me. And that's what we talk about a lot about. We take pride in being honest. We don't have anything coming down the pipe. We're not out to sell you anything. It is what it is. And that's not to say that if somebody is selling something that it's bad. Okay. So don't take that wrong. But I'm a firm believer, if somebody has something to sell you, just tell you they got something to sell you, and don't try to trick you into, oh my God. Levi is wearing a, somebody got him to do that. I'm telling you, he said, oh my gosh, hold on. I lost my earphone.
That was disturbing, dude.
That was disturbing. He told me, because when he did that Friday night, he says all these people were telling him to come in and crash our show. And he had lipstick on.
Dude, I think it's time you lock that door if you're doing a show.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. It's lipstick. But yeah, we're not here to call anybody out, guys. We really aren't. I'm not trying to, but I mean, I think it's really important. There's, when somebody, okay, if somebody's advertising something, if you understand how marketing works, you understand that there's certain ways to market people. There's certain ways to catch their eye. There's certain ways to bring them. And even though it's actually a marketing technique, sometimes it's just kind of underhanded. It's kind of deceitful. And, ultimately it's about the money. If the person just cares only about the money, it doesn't really matter what tactics they use to get the money. But I don't know, with the reselling community, I have a sense of like protection when I see that or hear that. And I know you do too, Ronnie, because we kind of talk about it. It's like, man, I really hope people actually see through this. You know, what do you think? I mean, because I know you feel the same way.
I mean, when it comes to paid stuff, there's some good stuff out there. I mean, some people put a lot of time and effort into things, and you know, people learn from it, and that's the thing. Can you learn from it? But it's kind of more the, you know, it's just when people are bullshitting and you just don't feel like that they're even doing it really. It's like they're doing it just, and then I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this without like, you know, there's certain paid content that's good out there, and there's certain that's not, you know, and I'll just go with that. You know, I've seen some that is good, and I've seen some that is bad, you know.
Well, and Sam TV says, topic. The topic today is actually talking about YouTube channels and, you know, what we've done. And, you know, we kind of hit this a little bit Friday night, and we kind of wanted to go into it a little bit more. And right now we're talking about, because so many people are coming, and I've said this for a while, so many people are coming to YouTube. You know, I came to it out of like entertainment to see, you know, and it's like, oh yeah. I mean, to see what other people are doing and stuff like that. And I think it's really important that with everything, with anything else out there, there's legit stuff and there's not legit stuff. And if you're not aware of your surroundings, you're going to be taken for a ride. And that's just how it is. I've said that this community has been infiltrated. That doesn't mean that other than us is evil. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just be aware, ask those questions.
You know, I mean, you know, I know, I understand a lot of people, you know, the moral of the story is it bad to put out paid advertising or put out something that's paid? Like, let's say tomorrow I came out with something. I mean, how would everybody feel about that? I mean, I put in the time, I put in a lot of effort into this. I mean, and if you put out something that's going to help people, would it be a bad or good thing? You know, and that's just what it is. It's like you're trying to better people. You know, and I'm not saying I am, because writing is my worst skill in the world. I'm good at math. Right? My English ain't even good. If you ever get voice and note messages from me, you know I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost one of those things is, and I'm not going to call out anybody's name, but you know, if somebody has an ungating service, okay, and do you think, how much business do you think they would get in that ungating service if the people he's trying to sell it to knew that he actually got suspended off of Amazon for bad selling practices? I mean, come on. I mean, and that's what we're talking about. It's like, you know, it's a matter of, that's when it's just about the money. It really is. I understand, you know, if this doesn't work out, then you need to try to find other ways to make money, but you don't try to find other ways to make money off of other people. You know, I just, there's a line. I feel, you know, most marketers that do this for a living say the only line in this is the bottom line, and it's all about the money. And that's true. Okay. You know, this group of people, you get run out of town, you know, you start your stuff up in another group of people. You know, if this fails, you know, when we talk about, if you haven't failed, then you haven't succeeded. You know, we talk about failures all the time. You know, we make a bad buy or something like that. But when your failures are because, you know, you've deceived people and there's a line an honest person lives by. And it's just some people don't have that moral compass, in my opinion. So, and we see it all the time, believe it or not, guys. And you just need to be made aware and continue to ask those questions. Ask the questions. But as far as Ronnie, your YouTube, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Fuck.
Hey.
I started my little, because I'm always trying to think of, I'm cold, to be honest with you. Whoever asked that question, I'm freezing in my warehouse right now. I have the heater right next to me. I want gloves on because my fingers are frozen. I am playing with some Scotty peeler because I'm shivering. But it's kind of just funny. I mean, I'm always trying to think of some way to do it because there's only so many haul videos you can do, or so many sales update videos you can do. Like I showed someone the other day, I had a sales video from 3.5 years ago. It was just like, hey, check this out. Almost 4 years old. It's like, hey, it's all, everything that's been done already. It's all regurgitated one way or the other. So I'm always trying to think of something different or something new to kind of go through, and that's why I kind of doing this little series on clothing. I have, probably I'm hoping to get them out Monday through Friday. And I think it'll be pretty fun. I'm probably going to record a bunch of them and just put them up as the day goes, and that way it'd be easier because, we're expecting a big snowstorm tomorrow, but I already have to ship probably 10 things, 12 things, and I think I have a boatload of auctions on it tonight, so it could be a long morning. But then I have something planned for the summer that I'm going to, trying to do with my wife and get her more involved in the channel. Certain things that work and certain things that don't, like the podcasting. We tried that for a while, but my wife did not really like the way it's set up, so I'll do it once a month with my wife instead of every week, and we'll talk about our sales and interesting things that happen over the month and kind of put our sales into that and everything like that. And then I have something kind of planned for next year with our channel. As we grow, so is the channel going to go in different directions, and it's going to be interesting. And how often do I ship? Every day. Every day.
Yeah. Somebody asked about coaching, and and this is my opinion, guys. I'm an old school type of guy. Okay. I believe in becoming proficient and professional to be so-called an expert in it. Almost to say you're an expert in something is a life achievement. Okay. It's where it's taken years and years and years to become so proficient in something that you could be considered an expert. And while sure, a lot of people that are, giving out coaching classes and stuff like that, it's in my narrow-mindedness, of being this old school. For me to invest money in somebody that's going to coach me, and I'm saying I just started reselling this year. Okay. For me, if I ask them, okay, now how long have you been doing this? And they're like, oh, I've been full-time for 2 years. And I mean, you may laugh at that, but that is a lot of what you hear. A lot of these folks that are coaching are literally are still in diapers when it comes to the overall big game of what we do. It's almost like they have been nothing but successful. Well, it's because you haven't had enough time to fail yet. I mean, because trust me, after doing this for so many years, it comes down to, man, there's trials and tribulations, and ultimately, 6 months doing something and being successful at it is awesome. But in 6 months' time in this business, your money actually hasn't really begun to work for you in the overall big picture. Yes, in small amounts, it's begun to work for you and stuff like that. But, to be successful in this business, I don't think it can be judged by like maybe you had a good year. Okay. Next year, it's not so good, but what are you going to be able to do to overcome this not so good? Or you had a fire and it took most of your inventory. Okay. How do you recover from that? Those are the things that you learn with time. Okay. There's certain things that you just can't get in 6 months, a year, in 2 years when it comes to, looking at it, or, calling yourself a self-proclaimed guru, or I'm an expert in this field. And it just, and that's what we're talking about. If somebody's got coaching courses out there, they want to charge you $50 an hour to coach you. Ask them, how long have you been doing this to where you're, and if they're talking a couple years, I mean, I would really, really consider going to the next person. and I'm only saying that because it's almost standing up for that person that's been doing this for years. Okay. It really is, because anybody can say, they're an expert in something. Well, if you ask them how long they've been doing it, they will lie. That's, if you have a inkling that they're lying, and shame on you for forking out any type of money. And it's not so much, I don't know. So easy for me to see through the BS. Maybe it's because I'm just old. But Ronnie, is it easy for you to see through it?
I mean, sometimes you just get the feeling that they're not who they portray themselves to be, basically. Something don't smell right. And, they come firing along, and you can kind of smell when they have an end game. When they start something, and it's for a reason. The only reason they start their YouTube channel is to push something at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart enough. I mean, I've talked about it, but when it comes down to it, I can't get these damn Google Hangouts right. I'm starting them before, I'm shutting them down before they even start. So, I mean, man, let me just keep this on eBay. Let me do what I know how to do.
Yeah, I mean and don't take this in the wrong way, guys. We're not on here hating or anything like that. And the only person that could possibly get mad at us for what we're talking about right now are the people that, if you take offense to what we're saying, which we're really not being mean or anything, but if you take offense to what we're saying, then you need to probably rethink what you're doing. Because if the shoe fits, wear it. And we're really not trying to, to beat up on anybody. It's just a generalization and if you think it's not going on out there, then you're sadly mistaken. And here's a really good example. You go, you see these people, that are trying to sell this product, and I'm at my big, huge mansion, or they're sitting out, on an endless, a seamless pool, with the ocean in the background. Chances are that's not their house. Okay. They've rented it out for a video shoot. It's just to portray that level of success that they're trying to get you to believe that they are experiencing. Okay. And chances are that they did not get to that level of success by doing what they're actually going to be training you to do. Okay. Where their success is being built is by selling you a product to get to where, where they're saying that they got. And 9 times out of 10, it's what they're training you to do, they haven't done themselves. So if that makes any sense at all, just keep your eyes out for it's called the bright flashy lights, the attention getters. So yeah, it's Ronnie, you want to take that question from Yvette?
Yeah. What if you are new and really want to pick a veteran's eBay seller's brain for about an hour? Sometimes I would think that would be priceless for a newer seller.
You know something? If I may, on this, Ronnie, I'll jump into this real quick. Chris Nice here in the chat. Did he ever come to me and say, "Hey, man, can I have an hour of your time?" No. Chris Nice, he approached me, as a fellow reseller, genuinely nice person, not out to, I don't know, get something for nothing or whatever. He was just genuinely nice. And when you develop those relationships, I would not have a problem with sitting down with Chris Nice. He asked me questions. I have no problem with helping him. And most people, if I have the time, I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with somebody. So I don't think it's so much that it costs money, because trust me, in the long run, it comes back tenfold to you. Everything you do for folks out there, of your heart, it comes back tenfold. And if you live by that rule, that's not to say some things don't cost money, but what I'm saying is everything you choose to do out of the goodness of your heart, it comes back tenfold. It really, really does. So what do you think about that, Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean, it does make a good sense, because I know there's people's brains I would love to pick for an hour. There's guys at the estate sales that I see, and there's one I know that does like $500,000 a year just picking up stuff at a few estate sales a week. I mean, I would love to sit down with them for an hour and just shoot the shit and see what they're selling, or, hey, show me your, I follow him on eBay. I was pretty slick to figure out, and so I have an idea of what he pays and what he sells, and he might make $40,000-$50,000 a month, but he's paying probably 25 to do it too. So it's another thing. I don't got that kind of cash flow, not now.
Yeah. Well, and
but there's just other, there's other fields that I would love to sit down with somebody from that field, or something in that interest that I like, and love to learn from them for, you know what I mean? But
right. And don't get me wrong, guys. When I say the argument to that might be, well, isn't your time worth something? Absolutely it is. But you have to weigh it. You really do have to weigh it. Kind of almost like, I'm gonna provide this, my time, at no cost on this particular instance. And trust me, whenever I get asked to do something like that, I'll weigh it in my thanks, buddy. I'll weigh it, okay? And ultimately, when I make the decision, I'll make the decision with no strings attached. But like I said, what typically happens is it ends up coming back tenfold. That relationship that you made with that person, they have your best interest, in mind if they come across something that could potentially make you really good money. And it's just that type of relationship. But my time is worth money. And that's not to say that sometime down the road that, somebody actually offered me $5 to literally hold their hand to teach them how to sell on eBay. I turned it down because it would take so much time. And if you commit, yeah, $5,000 sounds really good, but if they got you on the phone or bugging you for 12 hours a day, there's that. So I turned it down. I saw the way they were being very needy type thing. It's like, there ain't no way I'm going to, get stuck in this, but it's $5,000.
You can give me my number if you want to.
Dude, I know you know who I'm talking about, and there is no way you would do that. Yeah. You remember me talking about that, don't you?
I'm just playing, dude.
Yeah.
I don't get no signal in my warehouse anyway.
This guy would not leave me alone. Oh my gosh. What was I going to ask you, Ronnie? Somebody said something. Somebody in the comments says, please don't pay for info. We are not on here saying that whatsoever. Are we, Ronnie?
No, I mean, for instance, because I'm bringing a book home. I mean, I paid for a book. I wanted to know more about science. You know how many books I got? I got 6 science. I got 6 books on science. You know why? Because I wanted to learn about it. I joined some groups on Facebook. I knew about it, but there's so much fake fake shit out there now that I wanted. If I'm spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on pieces, I want to make sure it's, real. I don't want to get taken for something. So I started, wanting to get more educational on it. So I bought some books. There was nothing wrong with that. I'm paying for education, and I understand a lot of paid content. It's a shortcut. People want to bypass so much of it, and it's not good or bad, but people got to weigh out their options. Some people will not freaking pay for anything and will be on YouTube for 12 hours in one day trying to learn anything. And other people go, you know what? I don't want to waste those 12 hours. I'll give you the $20. Give me your ebook, and that's it. And there's no right or wrong way, but it's when people automatically start a channel for that specific reason. I mean, and me and you have talked about this before. How many people actually will message us, hey, I wrote a book. Could you promote it? Could you give me, a spot?
Yeah.
I'll give you 25%. And it's like, I'm not going to do it because I don't stand behind what you're doing. I don't even know you from a hole in the ground. So I mean, like, kick rocks and move on.
Yeah. Well, what it comes down to is, Ronnie's holding that book up, and like I said, I'm old school, and my thinking is, if I go into a bookstore and it's on a shelf, it costs somebody a lot of money. They have a lot vested in that. Okay. Through my growing up, a lot of these, kids nowadays, it doesn't cost you to write a book now. Anybody can write a book. Okay. That's where the danger comes in. Anybody can write a book with any kind of, dude, there was somebody out there writing a freaking book on the cures, or the all natural cures of cancer, an ebook selling on Amazon. I think you can go look it up. It's like all natural cures to cancer. Okay. Oh, is there a cancer cure? But I mean, that's the whole mentality. You can write a book on anything. You do not have to get published by a big, publishing house. You don't have to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's all a matter of, now all you have to do is put it on a Word document and upload it to Amazon. And when one sells, they print it out. That's a best-selling author. Oh, here's another big quick. Just because somebody states, yes, I'm a best-selling author on Amazon, which could be really, really good. But if you're the best-selling author of this certain category, this subcategory, and then there's 14 subcategories underneath that. Oh, in this particular subcategory, yes, you might be a best-selling author and you've actually sold 20 books, but it shows up you're a best-selling author. So you just have to really be careful with these terms. Okay, when you see here's a good example, Ronnie. When we were talking about our YouTube channels, what I found is, and what I really enjoy is, you try to do new things, right? That's what you were talking about. you know, I started doing this 101 items sold on eBay over the past month. That is actually doing very well, the concept. Because if you think about it, if you go to Amazon right now and type in ebooks where people are charging money, 101 items to sell on eBay, guess what? Every month I'm giving you that for free. Okay, literally. And it takes a little bit of time, but trust me, I'm getting back tenfold what I put into something. And but guess what? In that book, I mean, in that video, you're going to get 101 items that I've sold over the past month. It's in black and white. It's there. There's no disputing it. So it's, you know, and that's one of the things that I've done. That's, you try to be different. You try to put something new out there. It's not as easy as YouTube channel. And, you know, I'm at, I think, 7,300 subs we just hit. And by God, I am proud of every single one of those subs. Okay. I could go to Fiverr right now and buy 10,000 subs. I could go buy them, 10,000. And then I would have what? 17,000 subs. I don't even see how somebody could do that. I just really don't, because it's like, I'm proud of everything I've accomplished, and I'm proud to see that in 24 hours I've gotten 1,000 views. Okay, that's my reward. It's like, wow, you know?
I think it comes down to importance. I think a lot of people there's a lot of people that give out great information, but they just don't have the subscriber base. For whatever reason, they just don't get pushed in the YouTube algorithm, whatever, going back and forth. So it is what it is, you know, but, you know, and then there's other people that have 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers, and they're lucky if they get 10% of that interaction in their videos and views and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of a tall tale that there's something wrong with the math.
Yeah, if somebody like Ronnie or I, who has, you know, 7,000 subs, gets more views on a monthly basis or within a week's time than somebody with 20,000 subs, you kind of have to, and we're not saying that we're better than them. I think it's just, we're more realistic. So you can't automatically assume that just because, I mean, there's somebody that's 13,000 subs and they don't even get 120 views per video. Okay. So what does that tell you? That tells me that they went and bought a bunch of subs. So there's just all kinds of things that you need to think about before you take somebody's advice. And even if I say something that, oh, this is a good thing to do, or Ronnie says this is a good thing to do, if you do not double check that information and figure it out for yourself before you implement it into your business, shame on you. That's very important, because we're not all here to do it for you. And if that's why you're here, then you're going to fail, because if you take everything that you see on YouTube, Facebook, or anything and without double checking it yourself, you got awakening coming. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just, I think it's like people just want to be seen that they have a lot of subscribers. You know, I mean, there was, you know, watching somebody's video the other day, and their goal is not increasing their business to do more money or anything. It's, I want 50,000 subscribers. You know, and it used to drive me crazy when I seen Katie Patton's video, and it's like at the end of the video, it would go like, you know, I'm at 7,419 subscribers. You could be the 7,420th. It was just like, what is that? Like, you know, I could care less. You know, I'm happy just, you know, I'm still that awkward person making these videos as I was 4 years ago. You know, I try to do little different things to, I don't know, kind of get more familiarized with this, but man, When
Sure.
you get seen at a thrift store too for the first time, you never know how to act. Hey, seen your videos, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, and it does feel good. It really does feel good, guys. And don't take that wrong. It's like we do put value into our subscriber base because it's wholesome. It's organic. We've worked hard for what we've done, and I feel good about my 7,300 subs. And I know Ronnie really feels good about his, and I appreciate all our viewers. We're not talking down at you. We're talking with you. And I think that's really important in a person that you're talking to or listening to. You don't want to be talking to, watching somebody that's talking down to you all the time saying, look, you need to do this. And if you're going to do this and you need to do this, I think it's just really, I don't know, man. I think there's so much to be gained from just staying real and staying personable and not doing something or saying something to make it so much more than what it actually is. Because I think we've got a lot of smart people that watch, Ronnie. I really do. Do you agree? I mean,
I hope so. You're all smart, I hope.
Smart enough to go buy our stuff from our eBay store because we have nothing else to sell you.
I would sold one thing today. Come on, let's go.
Oh, but yeah, I don't even know. Oh, we're at an hour. Well, it looks like we made another one there, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wonder when we go into a show, it's like, oh, how's this going to go? And the next thing you know, it's over. And it's like, well, I think it went pretty well. And unfortunately, we can't judge by the thumbs up and thumbs down because we do have haters and it's hard to get a good feel. So if you liked what we talked about, give us a thumbs up. We actually think that the thumbs up are true. Hey, we support you. And nobody's going out and buying us a bunch of thumbs up. So
they just buy the dislikes.
yeah, so we can assume that every thumbs up we get is from a person, an individual. So, but we can't say that much about the thumbs down. So yeah, take the time, and we appreciate you spending our pre-Super Bowl, and go Broncos. Who are you going for? Oh, you said
going for the Chargers, baby. Let's go Chargers.
$50, Chad. No, I already told him, Pete. Dude, I'm telling you, you can pay in pennies. You can pay however you want, but you're paying. Just saying. Just saying. And it looks like Ronnie's froze up. Or I'm froze up, one of the two. Who's froze? Ronnie or me? Uh-oh. Raiders. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay.
Oh,
thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it there, buddy.
Dude, I made it twice now. I got kicked. I don't know what happened. It's like this thing crashed.
Yeah.
All right, so is that be it?
Guys, please let me reiterate, if you actually made it to the end of this, we didn't have an agenda to come on here and to slam anybody or slam anything. We wanted it to be how can we educate people and talk about what we see and what we're aware of. And then somebody mentioned, Ronnie, why don't you name names? Because I don't think it's that important to name names if we teach you have to notice it or to see it, because you name a name today, there'll be a new one tomorrow. And it's like, we don't want to get into business of, going out there and, we're not watchdogs. We are kind of watchdogs, but not, that's not our main purpose. So what we want to do is educate you typically when it's too good to be true, or it sounds super, super awesome, or somebody's out there just telling you how great they can do you. Just take a second and think about it and use your head. Yeah. And I know you're smart, and I'm not talking down to you, but if there's somebody that happens to be new, just please go to Google. It's crazy. And you can go to YouTube. check out some scammy marketing 101, you know. It's kind of watch it. And the $1 million. Okay, here's some key terms. $1 million, 6-figure income. Anytime you hear somebody talking about 6-figure income, okay, it's like, dude, okay, is that $999,000.99, or is that $100,000? I mean,
there's a big difference.
Big difference, okay. You know, I mean, so many people can say, yeah, I do 6 figures a year. I bring in 6 figures a year into my household. I bring in 6 figures a year. And that's the truth. That's the truth. But what does that mean, really? So you have to look at that as, for what it is. It's a bright, shiny light. It's a attention getter. Okay. Because when we talk in 6 figures, now, I don't figures means 0.99. The cents doesn't count. But yeah, I think it's really important. And by the way, not 100% of my income is through reselling. So when I do say 6 figures, yes, I am not 6 figures when it comes to actual reselling.
Do we have to put like a little asterisk next to your name?
Yeah. But Ronnie, I just told Ronnie the other day what my 1099 was, and it's significant for what I do. Trust me. But yeah, just come on, use your heads, and it's out there, and it's out there everywhere. So yeah. Dude, I'm going to go watch the Broncos just kick some Panther ass. I'm telling you, but PayPal payment will be fine.
We'll see how that works out. I don't know who's going to win. I haven't watched the Panthers play all year, so I have actually no idea. I just know their quarterback is actually pretty good.
Yeah, supposedly they set a new standard, trust me. But it ain't going to get them through.
Yeah. Disappeared. Seeing if there's anything in these comments.
Let's see here. Chad, what corner do you work?
I'm sorry, Andrew, if I hurt your feelings about the 30,000 subscriber mark. Congratulations. Hope you hit 50. Have fun. That's just not what I'm here for, buddy.
Yeah.
Anything else? We all know Chad posted. I'll show you my freaking. Here's my damn tax. This is just eBay. What the hell did I just knock over? That's eBay right there. I don't want to show any bad information on this thing or anything like that.
Yeah,
it has my address and everything on here. You know what? Fuck that. We'll put that to the side. I just realized there's a lot of information on that thing.
Make sure you turn in your 1055 or your what is that? Your
1099, 1088.
No, your health care coverage.
I think you already had to do that.
Yeah, but just don't forget it. I don't know what I did with my 1099.
I got to see the doctor next month actually.
Yes. Oh, Sheila, just disappear. If you love Peyton, you got to back him until he actually loses. Come on. Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming through today. Just have some fun here. But yeah, Dallas, you're not getting much. Trust me, you'll do better with some homeless guys, Social Security off the street corner than you would do in mine.
Yes, guys, Dallas Moore is in the chat. If you don't know who Dallas Moore is, hover over his name, click subscribe. He is one of the good guys out there. So we appreciate Dallas coming and watching today. Thank you.
Yeah. If you notice, there's only 2 of us on the show this week. We lost one of our clergy members, so we'll be having auditions over the next month. So send your applications in. See you later. Have a good week, everybody. Go Chargers!
Right.